welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we're on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Jubilee and Sun City Radio's Keta, Saboba FM Saboba and A1 Radio Bolgatanga. Get radio and TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Electricity Company of Ghana says it cannot be blamed for last Thursday's power outage.
If we have agreed to something that legally is not on us, then to what end?
And Presec Legon cements its place as undisputed champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz, following victory of Achimota and Opokuwari schools to win the trophy for a record 8th time.
B squared minus 4AC is greater than 0.
4.
You're right.
We bring you more on that in business.
Ghana Cedi expected to remain relatively stable against the US dollar this week following an ease in corporate demand. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And as the governing NPP elects its flag bearer for the 2024 election this weekend, presidential aspirant Dr. Usefri Yakoto says he holds the key to breaking the 8 for the party. But he's warning any attempt to subvert the will of the delegates will be disastrous for the NPP.
If we are not seen to be having a level playing field, after 4th November, it's going to be very difficult to unite the party against the NDC. And for me, that is my worry.
These and many more coming up shortly. Please stay with us. The details now. The Electricity Company of Ghana says it cannot accept blame for last Thursday's power cuts in some parts of the country. On October 26, the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GRIDCO, in a statement explained that the cause of the outage was due to limited gas supply to Tema, leading to a shortage of 550 megawatts at peak time. But the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, which receives gas from the West African Gas Pipeline for onward supply to the power plants, has absolved itself of blame for last Thursday's power supply challenges. Managing Director of ECG, Dubik Mahama, on PM Express expressed disappointment over GNPC's handling of the matter, saying the press release was unnecessary.
Legally, ECG has no contract with WAPCO. So the CWM is a suggestive approach to making sure that GNPC gets something on a monthly basis, or even let's say on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, to pay these bills. What is sad in this press release is that they failed to mention what ECG did for them when this thing came up. That's why I feel very sad and disheartened that this statement came out in the first place, because I don't know what purpose it's supposed to serve.
Do you accept it's your fault?
Honestly, I don't. If we have agreed to something that legally is not on us, then to what end?
Dubik Mahama is Managing Director of ECG. Now, residents of the Upper East Regional town of Garu are demanding the immediate release of 8 persons arrested following a military raid over the district. Now, the military is reported to have detained 8 persons from Garu and Tempane after subjecting many of the youth to corporal punishments and physical assaults over an alleged attack on their men. Garu DCE Osman Musa and Tempane DCE Isaka Anabida say the 8 were selected out of 16 suspects after screening and later airlifted out of the area for further interrogation by the military unit. But the residents insist they are innocent.
They can always kill the people, but they can never kill the will of the people. Freedom! More freedom for Garu. Justice! Release the men! Release the men! Release the innocent men! The assembly men you are wholly innocent. Do your investigation if you are actually men.
Indeed, there could have been diverse ways of saving these criminals from the community. Apart from that archaic way of waking up over 200 of our young men and giving them such high levels of molestations. It is something that we are traumatized.
Meanwhile, Minister of Defense Dominic Nitiwul has defended the military, insisting the men were on a mission in the area and may have been attacked based on wrong information.
Basically, to the 4 people that you mentioned that apparently some people misjudged them and tried to apprehend them, they are in fact members of the national security apparatus, and they were actually sent on official duty. There could have been there was some miscommunication somewhere along the line and mistrust. It's one of the things that we are trying to resolve.
You heard Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul. Now, crucial negotiations on Ghana's external debt restructuring is expected to commence in earnest as German Chancellor Olaf Scholz begins his state visit to Ghana. Scholz, who leads Ghana's second largest bilateral creditor, is visiting Ghana after making a stop in Nigeria. Ghana, which is currently experiencing an economic downturn, signed a $3 billion bailout with the International Monetary Fund, with a second tranche expected in November. However, the IMF says it will only release the next $600 million if Ghana's official creditors commit to the terms of debt restructuring. As German Chancellor Olaf Scholz arrives, Daniel Krul, the German ambassador to Ghana, says Germany will respond to Ghana's call for economic assistance.
Germany, as the second largest creditor to the country, remained committed to respond to Ghana's request for assistance to master the severe financial and economic crisis. In the G20 common framework, Germany will live up to its responsibility, and we will build on our bilateral development cooperation portfolio of currently over 700 million euros.
German ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Krul, there. Now to the exciting news. Presec Legon has cemented its place as undisputed champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz after winning the 2023 competition for a record 8th time. They beat Achimota School and Opokwari School to write their names in NSMQ history books as the only school to also win the competition back-to-back twice in 2008 and 2009 and 2022 and 2023. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
The three schools came with one expectation: to win the trophy. As they sang their anthems, the sound of optimism echoed within the four walls of the National Theatre. First, the gentlemen from Opokwari School, Achimota School, and the undisputed champions, Presec Legon.
True or false?
It was a comfortable lead for Presec Legon in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Things took a dramatic twist in round 4 during the true or false questions. Achimota School managed to close a 12-point gap to just 3 after the round.
Achimota School with the same preamble. B squared minus 4AC is greater than 0. Kenneth?
False.
You are right.
At the end of the contest, Presec Legon had 40 points, Achimota School 28 points, Opokwari School 23 points. I've now met Elizabeth Morty. Her son is Presec NSMQ 2023 winner Selena Morty.
Where do you see him in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years?
He said he wanted to go to Stanford University.
Okay.
So that's it.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report. Now to politics. Flag bearer aspirant of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Uswefri Yakoto, says he is capable of breaking the 8 for the NPP in the 2024 elections. Over 200,000 delegates will on Saturday elect the party's presidential candidate for the next election. He's however warning any attempt to subvert the will of the people will be disastrous for the party. Alton Brobe reports.
Out of 958 delegates, Dr. Uswefri Yakoto polled 36 votes in the Super Delegates Conference in August, enough to secure him a seat among the table of 5.
So our strategy was to make sure that we are in the 5, and we are in the 5. And this coming forth is a totally different ballgame altogether.
But after engaging more than half of the 900 Super Delegates, he was shocked that only 36 voted for him.
At least I can say that I spoke directly to more than half of them, to convince, to sell my vision for the party and for the country. And I was very sure that at the end of it, they bought into my vision. Uswefri was right, that you fear delegates.
But the insincerity of the delegates is not his only concern. The former Food and Agriculture Minister tells me the entire process was skewed in favor of one candidate.
The reasons given by Mr. Trematine for quitting the contest to start with before coming out to say that he's no longer with the party. Those are very solid ones, and I'm very sympathetic to those. See, the implication of all this is the unity of this party. If we are not seen to be having a level playing field, after 4th November, it's going to be very difficult to unite the party against the NDC. And for me, that is my worry.
Elton Roberts' report ending the bulletin in our top story. Electricity Company of Ghana says it cannot be blamed for last Thursday's power outage. I am Amisi Nyamche Thompson. Business is next on the Super Morning Show.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.